I think stand-ups are very important. I think that we have live shots these days where a stand-up might not be as necessary. I think they're very important though, and I think that it shouldn't be an afterthought. I think you should be thinking about them the whole time because you want them to be, if you think about it, that's the only thing you have total control over. So if you don't make the stand-up good, then there's something wrong. But sometimes, too often, they're an afterthought. I think they're important because the viewer, if it's a story without a live shot, the viewer needs to be connected with the storyteller. They need to see who's telling me the story. Are they credible? Who are they? And so it's good for them to connect the viewer with the storyteller.
So how do you make that part of the story seamless? How do you make a stand-up part of the integrated whole of the story, as opposed to, and now we're going to pop to this person standing still on camera?
Right. Well, it depends on the story. I think that if usually the reporter will talk about the stand-up, they come up with it and they write it, and if it connects two thoughts together, it depends. I'll try. I don't like, just personally, nothing wrong with it. I don't like long, slow zooms or zoom outs or pans and tilts. So what I try to do is I try to sequence the stand-up with a tight shot and with a wide shot, and I try to include some element of the story in the stand-up. So if it's about the teddy bear factory, maybe I'll have a teddy bear in the foreground. I don't know. I just made that up out of my head, but.
Now, do you like action in stand-ups? That is, show and tells, that kind of thing?
I do. It depends on the story. If it's how to carve a pumpkin, then maybe it's good to have the reporter carving a pumpkin. If it's about the teddy bear factory, I like to have a lot of stuff in the foreground. So I might put a teddy bear in the foreground. I'm just keep using the teddy bear thing, but I'll put a teddy bear in the foreground, and I'll just keep a really nice, well-composed shot. Now, if it's a really long stand-up, there may be some slow pans or zooms or something, but it just kind of depends on who I'm working with, what their philosophy is, and what the subject of the story is.
Take me inside a conversation. I'm in the car with you, and you're driving
Okay.
to an assignment, and you're talking about what kind of stand-up you might do because you're trying to plan ahead. What's that conversation like?
Well, I think what we try to do is we just try to envision the story. We talk about our open. You got to talk about how you're going to end the story if it has an ending. If there is, so you're covering the parade. It's going to end. So maybe we talk about visually how to open the parade and close the parade, and we just talk about maybe how to put the two thoughts together. A lot of times I work with talented reporters, so a lot of times they come up with really cool visual ideas for stand-ups. It kind of depends on the story again and who I'm working with, but a lot of times we'll just talk about different ways to do the stand-up. Is it are we showing something? Are we is it a nicely well composed stand-up? Is it a sequence stand-up? It just totally depends.